It's interesting, like I reflected on the stuff I've done on LinkedIn too, and I've done a lot of trying to like teach or educate or inform, and I put a lot of effort into some of that stuff, and it just doesn't land that often. And then I write something a bit, slightly unhinged, whatever, and people love it.
Yeah.
That's what gets traction. I guess it makes sense. It is a personal, like you're a person posting on LinkedIn, so people, I guess, want to hear personal about the person. It's been interesting at times, and I've seen it with other people too, that you can put a lot of effort into trying to make really good content, but it doesn't necessarily connect.
When I first found out about LinkedIn, I hated it. I was working at an agency. My manager at the time, like it was the first agency I'd ever worked in. I was in charge of marketing the business in general, but then I was also like a growth manager for a SaaS product at the time, and growth managers weren't that common at the time in New Zealand. This was about 4 years ago. So she was like, oh, you should really talk about this, document your journey. It was my first role in like the product tech and SaaS world, and I was just like, oh my God, I have so much to learn. Like I didn't know what agile was. I'd never heard of a stand-up. I didn't even know what a developer was at that point. So I was like, fish out of water, like, oh yeah, hi guys, like you don't know who I am. And she's like, document this, you have to talk about it. And I remember the first time I went on LinkedIn, because it just serves you up like I guess default people when you first join the platform. It was all these CEOs and venture capitalists, and they're like, oh, I just made $1 million a month, or I just signed a client for $30,000, like follow me and I'll teach you my 5-step ways. And I was like, the hell is this platform? Like, who are these people? Like wankers. And I remember saying to her, I was like, this isn't for me. And she's like, honestly, just stick with it. Just talk about what you're doing. Even if people don't like your post, just use this as a way for you to document, basically like journaling.
That's advice has really paid off.
I was like, all right. Like, I mean, now I'm still connected with her, and I'm like, yo, like you did good, man. Thank you. But yeah, at the time I was like, this is shit. And I kept with it. And I think just the process of, at the start, it was very much like I might have posted like 1 or 2 times a week. And in my head, I was like, this has to be the most perfect post ever, because, people are only going to hear from me once. And I paid so much attention to what is the perfect hook? How do I make sure this sounds good? Like, what's the call to action? And no one gave a shit, because you could see right through that it was so inauthentic. I was trying way too hard because I didn't enjoy LinkedIn at the start. And then I was trying to be someone that I wasn't. Like if you met me in person, I was talking completely different to how I was showing up on LinkedIn. And I just sat with that for a second. I was like, right, if I'm going to be on a social media platform, because I mean, LinkedIn is technically social media. If I'm going to be on this platform, I want to show up as me as a human. So if you read something that I've written and then you catch up with me for coffee, it just sounds like a conversation. So I thought, screw what I've been told about how to show up on LinkedIn. I'm just going to do my own thing. No one's liking my shit anyway. So I literally had nothing to lose. And I think the minute I started being honest on LinkedIn, I was like, I'm in this new role. I've got no idea what, a product manager is or anything like that. People were kind of following along because they're like, holy shit, this is, it's funny, it's relatable. Like I was kind of giving like the inside scoop of what was going on in my day. And I think naturally, like people bonded with that because I was actually telling part of my journey. And like you said earlier, people connect with people, not businesses. So I essentially was like unintentionally standing out on LinkedIn for doing the kind of content that no one was doing at the time.